Hello, I'm Rachel from Douentza Garden, but today I invite you to join me on a tour of the Anima garden in Morocco. This is a sculptural garden created by the artist André, and although only open 5 years, it has been variously listed as one of the world's great gardens to see. So come with me and let's visit the Anima garden in Morocco. You're very welcome to this video on the Anima garden just outside Marrakesh. This is my third and final video on Moroccan gardens. So if you'd like to check out the other two, you'll find those links in the video description. But don't be sad that this is the final video in the series, because I'm sure you'll love the Anima garden and that after this visit it'll shoot up on your list of must-see gardens. We enter the garden through a wooden doorway, and already we get an inkling of the diversity of cultural influences that we're likely to encounter today. I will tell you now that you have no idea of how many and how varied today's visual experiences will be. But before we jump into all that, and there will be quite a bit of jumping, I just want to take a botanic moment and show you this beautiful tree. Isn't it the most beautifully proportioned small tree? It's also covered in glorious pink blossom. Now, you may be wondering what tree this is. You may be wondering if you can get one of these for your own garden. But actually, this tree is a trompe l'oeil. It isn't actually a small tree at all. And if we allow our eye to travel up, you can see that this is in fact a very tall date palm. The pink flowers that we thought belonged to the tree are in fact a climber. This climber is Podrania ricassoliana, a vine that is very popular in Marrakesh, and we've seen it before, notably in the Majorelle garden. Whatever way they've trained this vining plant here at the Anima garden, it's circling round and round the same area of the date palm, giving the impression that it's at the top of a small tree, when in fact it's not. Very clever. The first notable sculpture we encounter is this enormous head that bellows cooling water vapour from its mouth. It can give you quite the fright when you come around the corner not expecting to see him here. The artistic influence behind this piece is from further south in Africa. Next up we have an alien, and while you're still digesting that, there's a whole boatload of wacky characters really just minding their own business and hanging out up high. Now we come to one of my favourite spaces in the garden, where stone square pillars line a walkway. Each pillar is topped with a different animal, some of them real, some fictional. This whole space reminds me very much of Italian gardens, the Villa d'Este near Rome in particular. I guess it's the use of whimsical and fanciful stone faces that entices me to make the connection. If you still don't smile at this point, you're in the wrong garden. What I really love about this garden is that it has the courage of its convictions. This is a sculpture garden par excellence. The sculpture gardens I've seen up until now tend to fall into one of two categories. The first category is that of the more dedicated spaces, and these tend to have more sculptural pieces separated by large distances, but very few plants. On the other end of the spectrum, you have beautiful gardens that have allowed the occasional sculptural piece in, but never to the exclusion of plants. The Anima garden is quite different from both of these in that it's full of very varied sculpture, placed in close proximity to each other, but never in an incongruous kind of way. I feel that the separation of different elements is sufficient to avoid a junky feel. There are many plants too, but the sculpture takes centre stage. The result is that many visitors will come away barely having noticed the plants. André the Austrian-born artist behind this garden, is among the world's most influential and successful multimedia artists. His achievements are many and eclectic and include garden artwork, chambers of wonder, prose, processions, a revival of circus and vaudeville, flying and swimming sculptures, the avant-garde amusement park Luna Luna, films, fire spectacles, labyrinths and stage plays. I guess when you hear that list of interests, it's no wonder that André Heller's garden has so many and varying influences. We now come to an area adorned with Tibetan prayer flags. The colourful flags look particularly well in the Moroccan sunshine and really brighten up the dark bamboo tunnel that they're hung along. There are Moroccan influences too, and this can be seen here where a circular fountain is at the centre of a covered pavilion. The area is divided quadrilaterally, as is the case with the traditional Islamic garden. If you want to learn more about this type of garden and see various examples, then take a look at my video on traditional Moroccan gardens, linked in the video description below. It's really pretty how they've used red rose petals in the fountain water. Well, this is essentially a traditional Moroccan element. Just look at the quirky frame that covers the path on your way to the fountain. These giant eyes are very striking and certainly bring a smile to my face, but they shouldn't be viewed out of context. If you see this image out of context, you may be forgiven for mistakenly thinking that the whole garden is a children's park, which it's not. Here we have a cast of Rodin's famous statue, The Thinker. The Anima garden is more than 3 hectares in size. That's about 7.5 acres. It offers views of the snow-capped Atlas Mountains on a clear winter's day. There's a restaurant too that offers meals made with spices and ingredients grown in the garden, like saffron, herbs or olives. As the garden is 36 kilometres, about 22 miles outside of Marrakesh, it's served by a free shuttle bus. When I visited this beautiful garden, I had intended spending the whole day, having lunch in the restaurant, making a leisurely video and returning to Marrakesh on the 5:30 shuttle. However, when I arrived at the garden, I was informed that the 5:30 shuttle was full up. There had been no way to book the return shuttle beforehand. That meant I only had about 2 hours in the garden before I'd have to go back. I was dismayed and decided I wouldn't make a video as there wasn't enough time. But as I walked around this amazing garden, my mood changed. I found I wasn't annoyed anymore, and I decided I really couldn't turn down the opportunity of sharing this wonderful space with you. So I hope you enjoy it. And that brings me to the end of this video tour of the Anima garden in Marrakesh. Did it make you smile? I do hope so. It also brings me to the end of this mini-series on Moroccan gardens. I think you can probably guess that I love the country and had a wonderful time here. Next week, on Thursday, you can expect another garden tour video from me, but this time we're back in Ireland and we'll be visiting the famous garden of June Blake. Expect to see the most amazing red flower beds and many other late summer delights. But before that, on Sunday, just to tide you over, I'll be offering you one of my shorter videos. This one is about plants to grow to attract beneficial insects into your garden, so do tune in for that. Thank you for coming with me to Morocco. I hope you've enjoyed the journey and come away with lots of garden inspiration. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so as to not miss any of my videos. By subscribing, you'll be reminded of my new videos whenever you go to YouTube. Thank you, as always, for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!